I'm Ben Grant, and I'm going to teach you how to use the optical tweezers today. So the first thing you want to do is to carefully remove the blue tarp, which will be always over the optical tweezers, and you can just take that and put it out of the way. Next, you want to take your piezo stage and move it to the left and up so it's in nice position. Then you can go over to the laser diode and temperature controllers and turn the current and resistance on buttons on both. You should see the displays light up. Now when you have the laser diode controller on, you want to check a few settings. First, you want to go up to ILM or current limit and make sure it's around 606 milliamps. Then you can bring that down to power, just leave it there. You also, in mode, you want to make sure it's in constant current mode, and also the laser diode polarity is in AG, which means the anode is grounded, which is the wiring I have set up for the laser. Next, you can go down to the temperature controller, and you want to go up to T set and make sure it is on 10 kiloohms. Then you bring it down to T actual, which is temperature actual. And the other thing you want to check is under sensor, which is in the bottom, that it's on TH and then 20,000 kiloohms. And once that's set, you can leave that beat. Then you want to go up, turn the on button to the Retiga EX camera, and it should say 1394 power. You're going to see a light up in the back that's green. Then you can take your LED power supply, which is with green tape, and plug it in. Once it's plugged in, you're going to see a light appear between the condenser objective and the objective. You just use a piece of paper, a business card or something, and follow the light from the top and bring it to the bottom, and you should see it focused on the objective. Now here, if it's not focused, you're going to need to align it, but it's going to be focused, so do not touch it if it is focused like it is now. I'll briefly explain now what to do if it's not focused. You have two X and Y positions here and here, which you can move and focus it, and also you have two up here, which moves the laser light, which you can focus. Now that will keep it in the XY direction. However, sometimes it is not focused enough. Say it's focused too high, and now you have a orange Allen wrench, which will be by the optical trap, and you have to loosen these 4 set screws. And then you can take this whole top part and move it up and down. However, please do not touch any of these things, because once you do, the laser will unalign itself, and Professor Stotchuk will need to align the laser. So this should be done already for you. Also, the next step is to go down in the piezo controller, hit the on power switch, and then if you look up, the tower on the stage should light up and say about 0 volts for each, which it does. Now this is the initial setup for the optical tweezers, and now we can walk over and we can prepare our first sample. I would like to sit down so you have more control. You just take a glass slide, place it down, and you want to try and avoid contamination as much as possible. Take double-sided sticky tape and make a channel on the glass slide. I make my channels about 3 to 5 millimeters wide. Like that. Then you can take your sample that you have. You want to shake it up and make sure it is mixed well. You can also go into the corner and there is a shaker. Make sure it's really good. Once it's shaken up, open it and use a pipette and put 50 microliters of solution in your channel, or until your channel is filled. Here you just use the white button on top, have it pressed down into the solution, pick it up, and place the sample in your channel. I just do little squirts until the channel is full. Put the pipette down, and you want to grab a cover slip to place on top of your channel. Now we're doing this because we have to place the slide upside down, since the microscope is an inverted microscope, and this will make sure the cover slip doesn't fall off. Just place it on, and then take your 2 fingers and don't touch in the channel on the outside edges and push it down. You will see some solution squirt out both ends, and to fix that, just use a Kim wipe and lightly absorb up the solution on both ends. Like that. Make sure you put the cap back on your sample, and now your sample is prepared to image. You always want to be careful, since it's double-sided sticky tape, not to stick the tape to your table. Once you have it, you want to be careful with it, and take it and flip it upside down so the cover slips down, and place it in your slide holder. And put the clips on both ends so it doesn't move. Then you want to take your Cargyle immersion oil type D and place it on the objective. Make sure the plastic tip does not touch the objective, and place about a drop of oil on the objective so it covers. Once you have this, you can go over to the computer and open up 2 programs. The first one's QCapture Pro 7. There will be a shortcut link on the bottom. And the other one's going to be APT User. Wait until the first program is fully loaded before you open up the second, just because you don't want anything to crash, to overload the computer. It does take a few moments to load the program. Once it's loaded, you can hit the live button right there, and you should see on your screen. Here, this is just dust and other artifacts that's on the camera. You don't have to worry about that. I always go split screen and then open up the APT User. This program controls your piezo controllers. You can add voltage and move nanometer positioning with your stage. And they all should read about 0 volts. You can move in 2 different ways. The first way is you can click on the voltage and set what you want. Or you can take this and rotate it. There. I don't know why that error appeared. That shouldn't happen. But you can set these in between 0 and 75 volts. I like them all at 0 to start out with. And then, like I said, the other way is to take the potentiometer looking thing and then you can rotate it. So that is that. Now, since this is all running just fine, we can move over, and this is, you have to be very careful and make sure that the sample does not hit the objective. You do that by taking the coarse adjuster on the Z and turning it all the way to the right, which it is, and also taking the fine adjuster on the Z and turning it all the way to the right. Okay, and once that's done, this stage should be high enough that it does not hit the objective. You can slide in very carefully, and then put the center of the objective in the middle of your channel. Once that is happening, take the Z and move it to the left, and you want to bring it all the way down until you see the oil spread along the cover slip. It'll just spread out evenly. And once that's spread out, you can multitask and look at your cover slip and also the QCapture Pro 7.